your horror movie podcast.
Oh shit, we both representing Ghostface today?
Let's up,
go.
dude? Ghostface in the house. How we doing, Justin?
What is up? Just got home from work, ready to roll.
How's your fucking Monday going?
It's not the worst Monday ever. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a new week, so I like a fresh start.
Spooktacular. All right. I talked about you today with one of Kristen's coworkers.
Okay, well,
they came over the house for lunch, and she was looking at the goodie bags from Roman's birthday party yesterday.
Yeah.
And she goes, I like this one. It's got a skateboard. I'm like, all right. And she's like, and I like this one. It's got a bug in it. I like to scare people. And I was like, funny thing about scaring people with props. I'm like, we got a giant spider in the office we like to torture Justin with.
Bro, do you know what happened today?
What?
They used a spider prop on me today.
Did they really?
Fucking Glenn. I was sitting at Adrian's computer or whoever you want to call that computer. And and I was looking at my phone, editing our fucking content. And Glenn walked by and he threw it right on the freaking keyboard. But luckily, I was actually so into the editing, I kind of noticed it and I didn't scream. I was so proud of myself. I did not scream. But that's funny you say that because that happened today. Maybe even the moment you were talking about. I don't even know, but that's
fucking
today.
Awesome.
Today.
Hell yeah. All right, dude. You ready to get into this? This is our Halloween finale.
Why?
I don't fucking know.
Bro, why?
I put this movie when we put it through the random generator. I picked this movie because I remember watching it when I was a kid. And before I go any further, hack, stab, slash, we're talking about 1995's Jacko. For some reason, I remember loving this when I was a child, and I remember watching it on repeat as a child. Could I tell you anything about this fucking movie as an adult other than the fact of what Jacko looked like and that some kid had very vivid dreams about him? No. That's all I could remember. And I fucking peeled every inch of my brain, Justin, trying to find this movie. And then I found it, and I was like, this looks god-awful. I want to see what the guys think about it, though.
I don't know how I'm going to do this podcast because I don't understand what I even watch. And you know me, I'm talking about 80 slashers in 31 days here. So I love some cheese. But wow, there is good, bad, and bad. And there was some parts that I just don't even understand. My notes, I don't even know people's names. So I'm like, this is going to be this podcast. Oh, man. Good luck.
I struggle with I almost texted you do you want to just talk about the movie instead of doing a recap?
I know. I was just like, I don't know how this is going to go because I'm like, dream sequence in a dream. There's a dream in the dream. What is even? I don't even know.
Yeah, there is one part where the kid has a dream, but he's having a dream about having a dream, and then he wakes up and he's still in the dream.
I'm like, what is happening?
I don't know. You ready to dive into this, dude?
Let's just go.
I'm not even going to ask you your expectation rating because you sound like you're hyperventilating.
Yeah, let's just burn through this shit fast.
All right, dude. So we opened a very 1995 credits that feel like they belong to a PBS special that your fourth grade teacher is having you watch on a cheap version of a King Arthur special. We meet a boy named Sean Kelly, and we know his name because there's this weird-ass grown adult man aggressively telling him the story of Jacko, the Pumpkin Man, while a random woman is just looking at them, much like Justin's chagrin and just pure disappointment from the distance in the fog. I have no idea what's going on.
Me neither.
At all. But then we get a flashback scene back to when Jacko was created, and a pair of brothers actually caught some guy who was on a murder rampage, and they hung him for his crimes. Turns out, though, he was just an absolutely insane person that thought he was a wizard and decided to curse the town on his way out. And now they have Jacko, and he's back, and he's killed the Barlows, and this Mr. Kelly, Arthur Kelly, needs to leave, and he puts his family back into the lie. He's like, don't worry about me. I'm going to kill this thing. We're going to take care of it. It's going to go to rest once and for all. We're 7 minutes into this movie, Justin, and we've already had a dream sequence, a storytelling, and a flashback.
Dude, all right, so the only notes I wrote during your part, since you just said 7 minute mark, I have a asterisk 8 minute mark. My 8 minute note. This is the worst 8 minutes movie I have ever seen in my life. Holy hell, Sean. I literally have, that's all I have. I have an 8 minute note. I don't understand anything. There's wizards.
That's right, dude. It gets worse. All right. Because Sean's walking when he gets off the bus and he's walking home with his friends. And Robbie starts with this creepy ass nursery rhyme. And then he tells him that he knows all about Jacko and he's a real being. And he even saw a witch last night. And then he goes, look, there she is. She's in the car. And the group of friends runs to hide. And this kid, Robbie, is just an absolute piece of shit because the woman in the car looks like she's having a very stressful day. She looks almost defeated, like she's just not having a good day. And Robbie decides, I'm going to teach her a lesson. You know, back in the 1600s, they used to stone these bitches. So he picks up a handful of rocks and he pathetically tries to throw them at the car, but he misses and he can't get it. But Sean's a good kid. And he's like, nah, fuck you, Robbie. And they start fighting. To which the witch decides to intervene. And she shows up and she pulls Robbie off of Sean. And Robbie and this chick just take off running. And she's talking to Sean. She's like, thank you for protecting my car. Do you need a ride home? And he's like, nah, my parents said I shouldn't take rides from strangers. But I guess it's okay if you walk me home? What the fuck's the difference?
I don't know. I have no clue.
So Vivian walks him home, dude. And I guess this is an open invitation to not only walk Sean home, introduce herself to her dad, go inside his house, let the kid take a nap, check on him while he's having a bad dream, comfort him when he wakes up. This chick is clearly overstepping her boundaries in this fucking house. And the only person that's there for it is the dad, because he seems like he wants to like show her his spooky house, if he gets my drift.
Dude, I was so confused. I'm like, who is this? Like, this is a random person. Next thing you know, she's like just inserts herself into the movie and is like hanging out with like her, like Sean. Never been so confused in my life.
Dude, she has fully interjected herself into this family. She's staying over for dinner. She's comforting the child after he has a bad dream, which is just another flashback to Mr. Kelly finding Daniel and Jewel dead in the barn from Jacko and him getting ready to square up with this fucking thing. Her name is Vivian. She's there. The dad just gives me creepy ass vibes. Like he's definitely fucked around with a couple other people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is Dr. Dan's brother. It's exactly what it is.
Oh God, not this again.
So we stray away from this family now and we meet a new group of kids. And this is an older group of kids. This is Brent and his gang finally show up to a field to start drinking, and they want to look for the old Oakmore Cemetery. They're looking for the Kelly family cemetery, which apparently is one of the oldest families in this town. Paul then stumbles across an old gravestone, and they scream. So Brent and Shannon come running full blast, and this dude Paul just sits up and goes, "You ever do it with the dead guy?" And then immediately cracks a beer open. We go back now. There's a ton of fucking cutscenes. There's like cutscene.
Dude, this whole movie, I could not even keep up with anything.
I struggled. But we're back now, and we see Sean. He's trying to stay up to watch this thing called Dr. Cadaver, which I think is pretty cool. And instead, the dad decides, like, hey, it's almost bedtime. So let's not watch Dr. Cadaver. Let's bring you into the haunted garage before bed, because that's a really good idea. Let's see
calm you down.
in this garage what can scare my kid before I put him down for bed. Fucking dad of the award year.
Yep.
But we're back to our trio of grave hunters. They're YouTube stars in the making, and they don't even know it. Brett pulls up, and he finds a scythe in the ground. He pulls it out of the ground, and he looks like he's like fucking playing around with it. This becomes more important later on in the film, Justin, but this is probably the next set of scenes that kept my attention the most, because we get introduced to the legendary Leanne Quigley.
Let's go.
And she is butt ass naked and taking a shower for way too long.
Tell me that was not the most gratuitous shot in horror movie history.
Right. Like I was watching it and Kristen's sitting next to me and she's working. And I had to like look away because I was like, this is going on for way too long.
No joke, same. So my wife was like, she was not paying attention to this movie, thank God. But I was watching it and like, she's like, this looks terrible. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, nudity. And she goes, oh, at least it gets a little better. And then it just kept on going. And she's like soaping herself up. Like, I'm like, oh, this is getting like really awkward. I'm like, what? Like, who even wrote this?
Dude, I fully get nudity in a horror movie or any kind of like thriller movie.
Yeah.
But it's usually like you see them washing their shoulder blades and then it's like a quick nipple shot and that's it.
Or it's like the main something like it's like a main character being like something's gonna happen. This is just like how you introduce her. Like this is
Like
wild.
I was like, holy shit, am I brought? Did I pick the wrong movie? Is this Jacko, but not referring to a jack-o'-lantern? Like, what the fuck?
Seriously. Oh my God.
So thank God, dude. Her phone starts ringing, and she puts on a towel and she runs out to answer it. And it's Linda, Sean's mom. She's calling her to babysit for that night. And bro, Carolyn, she's got the worst fucking neighbors in the world, dude. And I quote, her neighbors, the Watsons, pure white trash. Carolyn moves in and all the property values plummet. If she were a dog, I'd have her spayed. Like, these people suck.
Yeah, not cool. Not cool.
Tuck-in time for Sean now, who's becoming more and more obsessed with all these nursery rhymes. I will say these nursery rhymes are pretty good for the movie. They're a lot better than the nursery rhymes in Candy Corn. And now we see Paul and Shannon running through the woods, and Paul's dumbass pulls out the fucking grave marker in the ground like an asshole, and it's right back to dreamland for Sean. Sean's having a dream of Arthur Kelly battling Jacko, and he also sees some creepy ass old man in a fucking black robe talking to his parents. This guy, I can't tell if he had no eyeballs or if he was high as shit.
Right?
I think he had everyone out there on like a Madawaska retreat. Take some shrooms, sit in the dark. Let me tell you a spooky story. Jacko is back now, and he's crawling through the ground as if he emerges from Paul pulling out the cross. And this time, that cross is set on fire, so there's no going back. Jacko is here to stay.
Yep. And
then Jacko gets up, and he slays Paul and Brett, and he begins chasing Shannon through the woods. I don't know. I'm trying to make this entertaining.
I was going to say, what was that? Like, what kind of promo is this? Oh my God.
And dude, and while everything's going on, creepy ass Vivian is just standing in the woods watching it all happen. She's perfectly fine with this. Jacko then catches up and he slashes Shannon's throat in the fucking worst, most believable way I've ever seen in cinema history. Carolyn shows up now and lays the heavy ass flirt on Sean's dad, David. Mm-hmm. She is like, I want to see our spooky house. And you can hear this man literally gulp. Mm-hmm. And he's like, your friend's got a real nice motorcycle. And things just get awkward real fucking fast.
Real fast.
You can tell Carolyn's enjoying it. She's watching David's creepy ass fucking squirm. Vivian also shows up later that night to help out with the haunt. And instead of helping them set up the haunt, she's just getting trashed on their fucking couch drinking wine. The family's all together now. They're watching spooky movies. This movie is actually called The Coven, to be exact. And they want to get in the Halloween mood. You know what I'm saying? Light some candles, drink some wine. Do you get what this dad's trying to do with these two women?
I see what he's trying to do.
It's fucking horrible.
I see what this guy's
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
And then Vivian, instead of, playing that cute flirtatious thing that Carolyn's doing, she's like, I'm going to tell you a real fucked up story about our families. They start talking about how Arthur saved the town and he lynched Walter Macian. I don't know how to say his last name.
I don't know any of the names in this
fucking
movie.
Lynched his ass back in that like 1918 or whatever year it was. I said, man, you're an asshole. You deserve to die. Whole town got behind it. They were all rooting. Go Arthur. Yeah.
Let's go. Woo! Yeah. Kill him.
Yeah. Kill it. They ain't got nothing on you, King Arthur. Now Linda's back and she can't wait for Vivian to leave. Like, she just wants this bitch gone. She's giving her the heebie-jeebies, probably because she's giving her husband a very different feeling, if you catch my drift. I'm creeped out by the vibes in this movie. I don't know why I enjoyed it so much when I was a kid. Maybe because there's gratuitous nudity for like 10-minute stretches.
10 minutes straight.
A couple of kids now show up to the Watson's house for trick-or-treat, and these people are real pieces of shit. These are Carolyn's neighbors, the ones I mentioned from earlier. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Watson goes out there. He actually owns the grocery store, so these kids think they're going to get hooked up with like candy bars. Motherfucker opens the door and goes, hey, no handouts. I don't give out candy. I sell it. Get off my property.
What an a-hole.
And these kids go outside, and they're like, no treat, time for a trick. These kids straight up TP the shit out of the Watson's house right into Justin's turn.
Yeah, that was like, what the hell is up with that guy? Like, what
He's such a piece of shit.
Dude, like who says that to little kids? Like, no handouts? Like, holy
It
shit.
was like, I'm not looking for a handout, bro. It's Halloween. I'm here for
Yeah.
some candy. You got a porch light on.
Crazy. And then like so back with like the cutscenes, we see now the guy setting up the haunt for the haunted garage. We got fog machines, decorations, and everything, and we even see Jacko kind of staring. And then we see the Kelly fams they got the peep over they got the people
See,
all
that's
over
what I'm
the
saying, dude. There's so much
dude.
creepiness.
Yeah,
It's not even like intentional, bro. The vibes in this movie just give you that like if the dad has the chance to, he's gonna bang every woman in that neighborhood. This is why he's related to Dr. Dan.
Yeah, he asked the two girls. He's like, "Hey, can you guys take like Sean trick or treating?" And they're like, "Okay, yeah." So we'll take them. And then we go back to the freaking grumpy old guy's house. We have a cutscene over there, and we see the teenagers, and they're taking this dude's hubcaps off. You know what? Good. Screw that guy. And
That's such a 90s move.
I know. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my god! Like like you hear about that way back then. Like, and the funniest thing is you see Jacko just like stalking as this has happened. He's kind of like just watching this whole entire thing. And then the grumpy guy runs outside and he's staring at Jacko. The kids obviously ran away, and he's just like I quote, he says, "Aren't you too big for trick or treating? Aren't you bucko?" Like that's what he chooses to say to Jacko. And Jacko friggin' siphons him, sickles him. What is that thing? A sickle? What is it? What do you
It's a scythe.
Scythe. So I guess he gets scythed. Like, let's go. Ridiculous blood scenes. This is how they use gore in this movie.
Dude, you can tell he's got a
insane.
blood capsule in his mouth because as he's going down, if you guys are watching on YouTube, he goes like this.
Yeah, it literally just like
starts.
The deaths are absolutely crazy. But then my favorite part of the whole entire movie, one of the only parts that actually made me I actually laughed out loud.
Best kill ever.
Favorite thing I've had. This is like the only thing that this made me rank this movie a whole point higher. Is the wife now panics. The wife panics and runs in the house, and she gets a butter knife and to defend herself. But what happens? She has the toaster going. She turns around and she slips, and she stabs the toaster, and she fries herself to death. And I mean, she
deserved every bit of this death.
You see, like it's like Marv from Home Alone. Like you see, like her skeleton, and then her body gets like melted. And Jacko's like at the door, and he's just like looking. He's kind of just like, okay, and like just bails. Like he like watches it.
The only gripe I have with this whole thing, dude, is if you're being chased by Jacko, you see your dead husband outside, and you run inside to shut off the lights and hide right next to the door. Why didn't you shut the door?
Yeah, leaves the door wide open. Like Jacko like watches all this, and he like kind of just shakes his head. He's like, "What?"
He looked disappointed. Like you're a fucking moron.
Dude, it was
like,
hilarious.
I'm glad I didn't give you the benefit of being killed by me.
Best, like I laughed out loud. It was the only thing that saved.
Bro, I paused this. I rewound it, and I went and got Kristen, and I was like, I think this is why I loved it when I was a kid. Watch this scene.
Absolutely incredible. See, that's like good bad. That's like ridiculous. You know what you're doing.
They need more of that in this film.
They 100%. Like, why couldn't you just make this movie over the top like that instead of like actually trying? For the love of God. Anyway, it's trick or treating time. Sean now Carolyn is ready to take him. And she's looking for Judy, and she's banging on the door, and she's like, "Oh my God, where'd she go?" She snuck out with the guy in the motorcycle. She's gone. So you know what? Carolyn's like, "Whatever, let's go. It's time." Now we see Judy and the dude driving the bike. They stop out there in the woods. We get some more gratuitous nudity. She starts, takes her shirt off, and everything is going. This
was
really good.
Acceptable. This was acceptable
because it's time to go at it. But as something was watching, we see Jacko, who was apparently just like this dude's just everywhere. Jacko's just staring out there, and he's staring at him, and they're starting to get going, but Judy starts freaking out. She kind of like feels like the vibes are off, so she kind of like stops, and like the guy keeps on going, and she like smacks him, and she's like, "Come on!" And this dude is like gets pissed at her. He's like, "Yeah, you know what? Whatever. Like, I'm gonna like go get like the beer. Like, just find your own ride.
See you later. I'm gonna leave you in the woods. Drive away on my Honda Shadow."
He literally drives away and friggin' leaves her in there. Like, what the hell? Meanwhile, back at the friggin' Kelly's haunted garage, we see that a few kids actually like see Jacko in there. So the dad goes in there to check on, see what's going on. He doesn't see anything, but of course he's a friggin' klutz, and he knocks over tons of different shit. And now they gotta close it because there's shit everywhere. And
I will say that. Do you have a garage, Justin?
Because I would do that.
Yeah, because you would be the dad to dress up on Halloween and turn it into a spooky place. and put grapes and spaghetti out. And then
Oh,
you would be the dad to knock over buckets of paint and be like, ah, shit.
oh, 100%. Thank God I do not have a garage because I cannot do that play. But that would be my go-to, 110%. And we do see that Jacko was there, in fact, and he was even walking through the house. We see like looks like he was walking through Sean's house. And then we just like have these random cutscenes are crazy. You just cut to all of a sudden like Jacko's just like lurking in the woods. This is like cutscene, cutscene, cutscene. Because you see this Jacko lurking, and then it cuts to like the boy and girl who was trick-or-treating, and all of a sudden they get spooked by the biker asshole. He's all of a sudden back, and he's back for Julie. We have another cutscene back to the dad. He gets a call that kids are seeing like dead bodies and like monsters around there and everything. Then we cutscene back to the. This is like cutscene, cutscene, cutscene.
We get a
Bro,
cutscene to the cable guy, back to a cutscene of the
and
guy on the bike, back to the cutscene
yeah,
on Vivian, back to the cutscene on the sister, back to the cutscene on Sean, back to the
dude,
cutscene on a stepping on a picture, back to the cutscene on the cable guy again.
dude, not joking. Like, no, there was a few parts where I literally paused it because like they'd show like the guy setting up. There's like also there's like a guy working on like the cable lines and everything. They'll just show him. You're thinking something's gonna happen. Then it cuts to Jacko. He's just walking. Then it cuts back to the house and there's like a cell phone scene. Like,
And you can't even like take notes on it because you feel like you have to tell the listeners right now what's going on. And these
right.
cutscenes are literally like 5 to 6 seconds long.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So like you see a lot of shit. That's why my notes are like a disaster. I'm like I literally wrote like woods, 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 this. So now we're back in the woods after all those cutscenes, and we see Jacko confronts, I think the guy's name was Jim, the biker dude or something. And he literally sipes this dude. This was actually kind of cool. He sipes this dude's head off, and Julie's like on the ground. It rolls way over to Julie, and this like pretty much like lands
Dude,
right
his
in her lap.
eyeballs,
Like
the
ridiculous.
eyeballs look like popped out olives.
Popped out olives, like the worst effects you could ever imagine. But that
This is the
kill,
cheese I like though. Like,
yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like this was actually
yeah.
good. Like that was a funny scene. Like once again, give me more of like over the top ridiculous shit. I love that kind of stuff. And now like this is so stupid. Like Julie runs out and she sees the linesman that's like working out there, and her dialogue, she just like runs in there instead of saying, she's like, something's out here, and like jumps in his car, and the guy's just like, nothing's out here. And then like within 2 seconds, he gets his throat slit and blood is like shooting everywhere. He's gone. And then we cut right away another cutscene to trick-or-treating. We see Sean with Carolyn, and then we see right back cutscene to his house, and we see that someone was in Sean's room. The mom's freaking out now. We see like his bed's ripped, there's pictures smashed, like Jacko messed up his room pretty bad. Now, cutscene back to the playground where where Carolyn and Sean are very clumsily attacked. I'm
Dude,
speechless at
this is pathetic.
I am speechless at this. And Jacko is so stupid looking, trying to grab her, and she's like crawling under like a little kid trying to like get away. And Sean just books it. This dude just like runs off into the
Run,
woods.
Sean,
Yeah,
run!
he runs, and we see over through the woods is that grumpy old dude's house. So we see him like going there. We see the fried old woman. We see Jacko like follows them. And we see Jacko gets to the door again. He like, dude, I swear to God, Jacko was like politely,
This bitch.
dude, he was like politely signaling for like
Oh,
Sean
he
just to
was.
come get
Come
him.
here.
Yeah, he's
Come
like,
here,
oh,
buddy.
come here. He's like,
It's
I'm like,
okay.
what
I'm a
is
nice
happening?
guy.
And then
I'm
we
a
get
nice
back.
killer.
We go back to the adults now at the house and everything, and we see Vivian, and they're like trying to figure out what's going on. And Vivian like spills the beans, how she's like hunting a demon, talks about Jacko, how like they use Sean, but he to bait the demon, but the demon has to kill Sean before Sean kills the demon. I'm like, what the hell? Can you guys like kill this girl? This girl's clearly evil. How are you gonna let all this
Like,
just
dude,
happen?
how do you know this lure? She's like, it has to be the fifth son,
Dude, the
the
lore.
fifth firstborn son of the same bloodline. Like, what the fuck?
It was absolutely out of control. The lore of the bloodline, the fifth son, all this crazy shit, like so insane.
Do you think she
Anyway,
called Uncle Cyrus from 13 Ghosts and was like, hey, I need some advice?
right?
How many firstborn sons does it take to get to the
Yeah,
fifth?
I was like listening. I'm trying to take notes on this. I'm like, holy shit, how am I even gonna do this? And the dad's like, all right, well, you gotta call the police. And she's like, versus a demon? The
The
hell,
police can't help you. You're
He's not gonna
stupid.
help.
Listen to me.
And then once again, we get a chase scene, and we see like someone run to the door, and they think Sean's at the door, and he bangs on it, and he disappears. But you also see like blood splatter, so you think like he's dead. They all run out there, but false alarm. It was not blood. It was like a juice box.
It was a purple not a hoodsie. Yeah, juice box, a purple juice box.
Yeah, it's like it looked
That
like a
was
little.
not juice that went on that
No,
window.
dude,
That
I
was
was like
fucking like corn syrup blood. Like
complete
that was
thick
yeah.
corn syrup, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a juice box." What is going on in this movie?
False
Anyway,
alarm,
now
guys.
they're all going to look for Sean, and they're like, "You know what?" Vivian's like, "I know where to find them. Like the shallow grave. I know exactly where they're headed." And we see Jacko now. He's like marching Sean out there, just like do, like marching Sean out there. And once again, he gets to the shallow grave. He just politely points. He just points to it, and Sean's like, okay. Sean just goes in there and like politely like lays down. And Jacko just takes a sweet time using his scythe. Just he's just
Yeah,
slowly burying him.
sprinkling dirt on
Like,
him.
dude,
Not burying him alive, sprinkling dirt. He's using a scythe to bury him. And Hackstab Slash, if you're not watching, a scythe is about an inch and a half, and he's flicking
he's just flicking sand on
dirt.
him.
Yeah.
How is this a real movie?
You could have used your feet and filled it in faster.
Yeah. Anyway, they make like a giant cross like marker thing, and Vivian's like runs up there, and she's like, "All right, go back to hell, you demon!" But she's like scythed right away, like right in the stomach, and this dude just shocks her. She literally gets stabbed in 10 seconds. Like, you are the worst. Like
This
that
is
was your
this
plan,
is they needed more kills like this when he
yeah,
uses the scythe in quick action,
right?
because the way he throws her, you can tell it's like some old clothes stuffed with leaves,
Oh yeah.
but it's so good.
No, that's what I mean. Like, give me that kind of stuff. Not just bad. Like, it was hilarious. She gets absolutely launched against a tree. And then once again, as this is happening, we're having old flashbacks of I think the guy named Arthur. I don't even remember because this is a confusing movie. But then all of a sudden, as he's there, Jacko is about to go after his parents. Sean apparently was completely buried. He's digging himself out, and he yells, "Hey, leave them alone, Jacko!" And Dad,
Just like that, just like that.
yeah, he literally is like, "Hey,
He
leave them
literally yelled it
alone!"
just like that.
Like ridiculous. Like that's the exact quote and his voice. And Dad runs and like spears and like pushes Jacko. He falls on that crazy cross. He gets impaled. Then there's flames, and then I think he explodes and then disappears.
He melted kind of like they were doing like a PowerPoint presentation, and you use like the transition water effect.
Yeah, like it was an interesting thing. And then we see they're like, all right, well now the three of them are there. It's like, well, it's almost dawn as they lay some flowers on the Arthur Kelly's grave. And then we see out of nowhere we flash to like Julie emerging from the woods, who's also right next to the playground where we see Carolyn all of a sudden comes to and wakes up also at the same time. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, like what's going on?
We
Like,
gotta find Sean.
yeah, we gotta find Sean." And then they look and they see the family walking at the same time, and everyone runs over, and it's a happy family walking, and it's like, oh, it's breakfast time. Like they're really, really hungry and just want to go eat breakfast. And then we close on a pumpkin mask or something.
Yeah, she's like, I want pie. Anything
Yeah.
but pumpkin
Anything
pie.
but pumpkin.
I do like
Also,
the closing. I thought was very good.
Yeah.
Not like the actual ending, like group get together, but the close up onto Jacko's actual head.
Yeah.
I like Jacko's head. I do.
And then we get Jacko's glowing
I
head.
don't like much else, but I do like Jacko's head.
Holy shit, that was a lot to get through. The end.
Jesus Christ. All right, so next time I tell you, Justin, that I loved this movie when I was a child and I haven't
dude.
seen it since then, but I can't remember it. Tell me to go fuck myself.
Yes, I literally could not, dude. I sacrificed. I wanted to watch football. It was a 4 o'clock hour. I like went and hiked and stuff. Then the 1 o'clock, I'm like, I really want to watch football, but I'm like, I have to watch this movie for the podcast. And I watched Jacko instead of watching football, man.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie. I think this is a good intro to horror because it's so fucking stupid that I don't think it could scare a kid anymore. All right, dude. Justin.
Yeah.
Dare I ask you to give me your closing thoughts and your rating on this movie?
All right. My closing thoughts are: holy shit, this was an absolute mess. I love low budget cheese too. I really do. Like, I mean, I just covered a movie called Killer Workout. So I'm all here for that kind of shit. That being said, this was a disaster, and it wasn't even like fun bad. This was just absolutely bad. I will tell you exactly what happened. All right, so this is how you sum up this movie. Whoever made this movie, right? they saw Pumpkinhead. And after watching Pumpkinhead, they took a bunch of shrooms, I imagine. And then they grabbed a video camera and they went into the street and just grabbed a bunch of people and like, hey, we're gonna film a remake of Pumpkinhead while we're tripping balls on shrooms with no budget. And they made this movie. That's the only thing I could possibly think about.
You left one part out.
What?
They played a lot of Oregon Trail in the process.
Exactly, and Oregon Trail. Shrooms, Oregon Trail, watch Pumpkinhead, made this disaster. I give this a 2.9. And the only reason I even rank it that high is just because it had Linnea Quigley in it, and there was like 2 kills. I actually laughed out loud at like there was like 2 kills that were actually good. But they needed more of that because most of them still wasn't that good. So I think 2.9 is pretty fair for this one.
All right, dude. So watching this movie, it is very low budget. It is not well shot. It is not well acted at all. Even the special effects, if you will, were special. Dude, not a lot about this movie is even worth talking about. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, Justin, because you kind of said how I felt.
Yeah.
But I am giving this movie a 3.5, which is substantially higher than I think it should ever be rated.
Right.
1 point for the kill of the Watsons. I thought that electrocution scene was fucking awesome.
That was incredible.
The second one was for the decapitation. I thought that scene was fucking awesome.
Yep.
That's the kind of cheese we absolutely need in this movie. And then I give it 1 point for the grotesque nudity because who doesn't want to see some boobies?
Yep.
And then an additional 0.5 point for the nostalgia and the inner child in me wanting to watch this movie actually again.
Yep.
I know it's fucking horrible and I probably shouldn't watch it, but the inner kid in me wants to see. I think there's a sequel.
No, there's not. No, stop it right now. Just
stop
it.
Yeah, so 3.5, 2.9. This movie is definitely not a movie. It feels like something a couple of college kids, like you said, took some shrooms, watched Pumpkinhead, and had to like make a final project and do it fast.
Yeah. Oh, and I got fun facts of why this movie's so bad. A person that I was not aware of. Fred Olin Ray. What do you know about this guy? This guy.
I want you to tell me about him.
All right, so this guy he's like a B movie like master, I guess. He's had a very successful career. He's directed like 165 movies. He's produces them. He's a screenwriter, and I'm pretty sure it said once he was a wrestler. He makes erotic thrillers, sci-fi movies. You have to check out this guy's IMDb. Now let's talk about this real fast. So let's just go through this real fast. He had a movie called Bikini Frankenstein, Bikini Royale, Bikini Jones and the Temple of Dooms, The Bikini Warriors. No, I'm going to keep talking for a second.
Is this all softcore porn?
Bikini Time Machine, Sexual Witchcraft, Super Shock, The Teeny Weeny Bikini Squad. Let's go back for a little bit. Those are in the 2000s. Super Ninja Doll, Bikini Dolls from the Lost Planet. Let's see. Bikini Airwaves. This dude, 13 Erotic Ghost. This is absolutely this is unbelievable. Let's go back into that's like all in the 2000s. This dude, Attack of the 60-Foot Centerfolds, Bikini Drive-In. Now we're in the 90s. The Scream Queen Hot Tub Party. This is unbelievable.
He dropped the ball on that one. He should have called it Scream Queen Hot Tub Time Machine.
Right? Like, dude, this guy, like, unbelievable. So this guy just makes so much ridiculousness. And I actually bet some of those are probably hilarious because they imagine they're so good. I don't know why this one is just so absolutely terrible. But yeah, so that guy was the guy. He produced it. Steve Latshaw directed it, but Fred Olin Ray was like the writer and actually produced it. So that we have him to thank for this.
Did you get did you get the fun fact about that commentary?
All
right,
yes.
Dude. So in the DVD commentary, Steve Latshaw and producer Fred Olin Ray have a lot of tension and hostility towards each other. It's pretty obvious that there is some bad blood between them. At one point, Ray jokingly refers to a review which called this film a shit pickle. To which Latshaw gets angry and snaps. We discussed this commentary before we ever even got into this. And you specifically stated you would not make any reference to the shit pickle comment. And you laughed your ass off and you told me you were laughing when you said shit pickle, As a matter of fact, you said shit pickle more than once. You said, that's so funny. Shit pickle, shit pickle. Well, you know what's funny to me? You can sit here and do this fucking commentary by yourself. Latshaw then storms off and leaves the commentary before returning later in a calm demeanor. I don't know if that was staged or if they were fucking going at it. That might explain why there is such different feelings in this whole movie. Maybe one of them was going for like the real cheese B movie, and the other one was like trying to take it seriously and was getting offended because this was his life's masterpiece, and there was just no middle ground.
Dude, and the kid, I don't ever want to make fun of kids and stuff, but he was the worst actor ever. All right, so it was the director's son. I feel like which is fine and everything. The director literally just put his son in
You
the
feel
movie.
bad saying that because it is a kid actor.
That's the thing.
But there was no emotion in all three of the kids.
Yeah, I don't want to be mean. Like, it's a kid and everything, but holy crap, like, which, I mean, obviously you can blame on the director, which obviously it was his son. It was just so bad. It was just very bad. Very bad.
The only scenes where this kid actually shined was, and it felt like he was being a kid in the movie, is when Lena Quigley pulls up on the motorcycle and gets off, and he runs up in pure excitement and then shows her his Jason mask and runs away.
Right.
Beautifully acted. Everything else, dude, it felt like he was trying to read in front of the classroom.
Oh, yeah. And the only other things I'll say, and then I'll stop talking about this, is how it was filmed in February and March, so they had to buy the pumpkins ahead of time in November. Linnea Quigley only worked 3 days, and 1999's Femme Fatale magazine said that it was the most gratuitous scene ever when she just randomly took a shower for no apparently reason in that. And that's all I'm going to talk about this movie.
All right, dude. So I've got 2 more fun facts. Final film role for Cameron Mitchell, aka Dr. Cadaver. This film unfortunately wasn't released until a year after he died. Guy was probably rolling over in his grave.
Oh,
he's probably pissed.
Jeez.
The Watson couple. I actually really like this because I hate the Watson couple so much in this movie. The Watson couple was actually based on a conservative couple that director Steve Latshaw knew growing up as a kid. How unfortunate was he to have them as neighbors?
No, that's terrible. That sucks.
Also, did you know this film was only shot on weekends?
No shit.
Yeah, this would explain why Dr. Dan does not make an appearance in this movie because he's busy trying to dodge taking his kids for the weekend.
Yep, there we go. Boom. Explains it all. Gotta have the Halloween 3 tie-in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here, dude, and go enjoy some Halloween candy.
Seriously, let's go.
I'm Hacky, this dude up here, completely infuriated with my choice of movie.
Justin, have the best day ever.
Adios, /happy Halloween.
Let's go.